You want all the information about the new MISC Starlancer MAX, all the features and all the missing features? And if the Starlancer MAX is more than just a Freelancer 2.0, then you're exactly right here. Because not only the RSI Polaris has found its way into the verse, which we have presented to you in detail in another video, but also the new MISC Starlancer MAX. The Starlancer MAX is one of 3 variants, in addition to the tech as a combat variant and the build as a crafting or base building variant. So the MAX is currently the only flight-ready model that we can fly with 324.3 as part of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. And of course, we also go step by step into all the details here, do a complete walkthrough of the entire ship and start with the exterior before we switch to the interior. The Starlancer MAX is an industrial ship for the area of exploration and transport and comes in size 5. The necessary crew is only 1 pilot, but of course we also have multi-crew capabilities with up to 4 crewmen and the corresponding equipment. In space combat mode, the MAX reaches 150 meters per second with a maximum boost of 315 and a nav max speed of 950 meters per second. Thanks to a pitch and yaw of 31 and a roll value of 65 degrees per second, the Starlancer MAX is sufficiently agile and controllable for a ship of this size. In total, the Starlancer MAX can accommodate the maximum cargo capacity of 224 SCU of cargo. The pilot has access to 2 dual-link turrets with 2 size 4 armaments each, automatically gimbaled. In addition, there are 2 remote turrets, each also double size 4. And MISC typical, we also have a handsome missile arsenal with 16 large size 3 missiles distributed over 4 quad launchers. In total, the MAX can use a pilot, a co-pilot, an engineering station and 2 remote turret stations. And not only the optics are strongly reminiscent of the Freelancer series, but also the features are relatively similar. Because the main feature of the MAX series stands out, namely the additional foldable side cargo space, which acts like a kind of container transport box at the bottom. Here we have the option of loading 2 32 SCU containers, so the large one, and 64 SCU on the side and the remaining cargo capacity in the rear cargo space. But does the MAX still have other features, or is it still a larger Freelancer? We will go into this question now. Also, MISC typical is the positioning of the gun turrets, whereby a gun turret which covers both thighs, so the front and rear area, would have been sufficient. But the attached gun turrets, so the remote turrets, are significantly limited, since we have a limited fire circle for the front turret to the back and for the rear turret to the front. But the turrets can be controlled remotely via their own stations and are not manable, like the Freelancer. In principle, the pilot can resort to the main armament as well as the missile arsenal. Thus, the Starlancer is also an alternative to the Freelancer for solo pilots. In the defensive area, we can use a single side 3 shield, and we have about 84,000 hit points. So also in this area, only a slightly larger version of the Freelancer. But let's go to the interior. Also MISC typical, we have a pilot and the co-pilot seat as well as the 2 remote stations behind it, whereby we can control the rear and front turrets separately. The cockpit is very spacious and offers a lot of unused space so far. Here we have no weapon compartments, storage spaces or more. But the classic MISC design. A lot of metal, a lot of reflective surfaces and clear lines. But let's take a look at the remote stations. On the left side of the ship we have the remote control for the first turret. Here it is about the turret positioning backwards. This basically has a good working area backwards, but a clear restriction for the front area. The turrets are equipped with 2 laser repeaters in size 4, and about 870 DPS can be achieved. On the opposite station, we have analog access to the second remote turret, whereby this is pointing forward. Due to the positioning relatively far in the middle of the ship, a direct impact forward is only possible in the upper area. For the impact area backwards, the construction in the middle, as well as the rear turret, limits the visibility. Let's call it MISC typical. With this, the Starlancer is ideally equipped with 4 crewmen for combat. Directly behind the cockpit, we find again only 4 escape pods in a very spacious area. Here, an access area for the elevator, as well as a ladder to the lower deck and access to the Starlancer's stay area is behind. Notably, compared to the previous rooms, it is a bit narrower here. The mess hall area is again spacious, with a table, a billiard table without billiard balls or cues, as well as a small bar. The stay area is well rounded off. But details or decorations are not to be found in the entire ship. So, no small lovely details that we know from the Freelancer or Starfarer series. In the middle area of the upper deck, we find a block with 4 identical crew quarters, which all offer the same equipment: a bed, a small bedroom, as well as our own storage space. For the complete middle area, there is a corridor where you can move around. And at the end of these, we find 2 elevators that lead into the cargo hold. But we'll come back to these elevators later, after we missed the purpose here. The end of the upper deck is offered by the engine room. Here, we find again very spaciously individual ship components, as well as the main power supply and the engines. All ship components are easily accessible and hidden behind additional cover flaps. In the far back area, we find the quantum drive. A highlight are the animations and optics in the back area, which concern the main power supply and the engines. These are definitely worth a look. But we use the main elevator in the front area, the stairs or the elevators in the back area to get to the lower deck. And after getting out of the elevator at the front, we have 2 options. One is to go to the front of the ship, to the armory, which offers enough space for weapons and equipment for all crew members, or we go to the back area, where we find the cargo hold. Directly opposite the elevator, we find the docking lock right after a small staircase. But we do not find any additional protective doors here, so only a door that leads directly into the reverse. But let's go to the feature of the Starlancer MAX, namely the foldable and roll-out cargo hold, which supports 32 SCU containers each. But the Starlancer does not rely on a ship tractor beam similar to the Freelancer or other MISC ships. And we come to the both elevators, which do not offer space for cargo, but lead directly to the crew quarters, where the elevators are only a few steps away from each other. So we do not find a sense or a purpose, especially for the Starlancer MAX here. Therefore, it should be noted that for the tech or build series, there is much more sense in this area, and only a cargo hold was implemented here with these 2 elevators. Otherwise, the cargo hold is unspectacular, and vehicles up to an Ursa should definitely find space here. Finally, the only real feature of the Starlancer MAX is the foldable cargo hold for each 32 SCU containers, or various vehicles or bikes. As a conclusion, the Starlancer MAX represents an upgraded variant of the Freelancer 2.0. And compared to the Freelancer MAX, the Starlancer MAX offers a larger cargo hold, a slightly better, but also not outstanding armament, and slightly more defensive capacities. And the optics are also strongly oriented to the Freelancer series. So the Starlancer MAX also does not have a dedicated ship tractor beam, whereby any cargo must be moved by external tools or an atlas. But the following variants will be exciting. The tech is a combat version with significantly more firepower, or the build version is a base building and crafting variant. But what is your opinion on the new Starlancer series and especially on the MAX? Feel free to let me know. Is it worth the purchase for you, or would you rather stay with the Freelancer series? Let me know in the comments in our daily Twitch live streams or here under the video. I say goodbye, until next time, and of course, see you in the verse. And of course, thanks for watching!